Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Lifelines, our 59th broadcast here at Radio Center. Z93, today's best hits.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! We don't have our clap button going yet, do we?
No, that's going to take me a second. Let's see here. Let's see. If
Are you
going
to try it? You're going to go for now. That is awesome. I'm not sure. That was awesome. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Can you do that clap button one more time? That's kind of cool.
Oh, girl.
Andrea
You're making me work.
Do it. Do it. So cool. Oh, you guys, they can't hear it. Some people can't hear it.
Right.
Because we are streaming tonight. We are streaming tonight in honor of our event coming up. And in honor of getting the word out, we have, next week we have guests on the show, right? So let me back up. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Lifelines here on Z93, today's best hits. We are happy to be here tonight. We hope everyone had an okay day, right?
Right.
And what is Lifelines? What is Lifelines, Andrea?
Well, Lifelines is an hour-long broadcast on Thursday nights where you can call in if you have anything going on you want to talk about, whether it's a big issue, a small, irritation, if
Struggle.
it's something you've been wanting to do and have had difficulty getting started, whatever it might be, or if it's something about human nature that you don't understand, it's a great time to call in and get some new perspective. And I think once you do, we've had people tell us that they just can't believe the relief they feel. It just feels so good to get it out of their mouth.
Because what's the first step?
Yes, the first step is saying it out loud.
Saying it out loud. Yes.
And then, always, we have people call in or text in and say, gosh, I'm so glad that person shared because I can totally relate.
Right.
And that really helped me. So It's a wonderful time. So if you've got something you'd like to discuss, you can give us a call at 231-929-HITS, 231-929-4487, or text in anytime at 70236. If you're a first-time texter, text Z93join to 70236.
And as my dear friend Vince from high school says, there's no problem too big or small to call. Of course, Andrea and I don't have any problems.
Oh, girly. We've worked through a ton and then some.
Well, and that is one thing that we coach and teach and share is that every single day something doesn't go our way.
Exactly.
Every single day something happens that's the unexpected, whether it's being late, whether your kid had a breakup, whether your bank account got hacked, whether you stepped on the scale and got a little surprise. And those are the moments.
Right.
And we all have the unexpected, and everything's good until it isn't. And then what? And then how derailed do we get? How long does it last? How long do you worry about somebody being upset, or what you have to tell someone that you don't know how to tell them, or you said the wrong thing, or you don't want them to think this, and that stuff just consumes so much of our brain space.
Right, and often we don't even realize that that's what's going on. We just know that we feel kind of yucky.
Right.
And can't seem to snap out of it.
Right. And so, we talk about self-worth, and it seems so silly as adults, like, of course I have self-worth. Well, we all do until we don't. We all do until, again, we go to step on the scale. We think about our vacation. We are doing a presentation. We're meeting people for the first time.
Yeah, we run into our ex.
We run into our ex.
Yeah, or when the boss calls us in, or whatever it might be.
Yes. And the first thing is you get a phone call from the bank, and it's like, what did I do? Am I in trouble? And in those moments, all of those moments, in a split second, we forget how powerful we are. And we forget that we have choices.
Right.
And we forget that we can survive anything.
Right.
We can survive it. We can survive death. We can survive life. We can survive conflict. We can survive misunderstandings. We can survive loss of a job, loss of a home. We can survive these things. But what happens?
what happens is we get into this loop that often becomes debilitating. It keeps us from making forward healthy action.
Right.
Because we get stuck.
And why in those moments, again, when life hits, do we forget? Do we feel like we're not going to survive it? And then what do we want to do? We want to control.
Mm-hmm.
Control. Is there a song about control? Does Aretha
Yes, there
Franklin have a song about control?
Janet
or just
Jackson.
respect? Janet Jackson.
Janet.
I'll bet there's some other ones too, you think?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, in those moments, we lose all our power from within ourselves.
Right.
Except for you and I, because that doesn't happen to us. Actually, it rarely does because of our practice. However,
Right.
in those moments, we don't have that pause button, and the fight or flight, and that's a whole, we could get into that, but comes in, and we lose our ability to resolve and solve and be confident that it doesn't frickin' matter who said what, or if the bank calls, or if I have to tell my relatives they're not staying this summer, or if my kid has a breakup. And again, it's those defining moments. Everything's good when it's good, right?
Right.
So sometimes people think that Andrea and I just coach if you have major depression or major anxiety or some kind of challenge, big emotional challenge. And that's not the case at all.
Right.
And so change and hitting goals and desires never die. You're always going to be wanting something, and that's why we have people on the moon, and that's why we have the discoveries and the technology and the advancements that we have. We're always going to be wanting more for ourselves and for the world, and but change and achieving those things that you desire have a heck of a lot more to do with than than positive quotes and grit and willpower and potential. Those things are all great, but the brain doesn't really care about those things when it comes to change.
Right.
And neither does your programming, and neither does your condition, because your sweet little brain doesn't know how old you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and your sweet little brain doesn't realize that you are capable, that you do have choices. It's just running on fight, flight, or freeze.
Right.
Talk about.
Right. And it has been programmed to do that for a long time. There's conflict starts to arise, we freeze, we lose our voice, we lose our choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, we get the phone call from the bank, we freeze. All of a sudden that panic mode comes in. And the problem is you can't be in solve mode and panic mode at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, it doesn't work that way. And so one of the things Andrea and I help people with our training is to create that self-awareness to be, how do I do this without feeling guilty? How do I do this without feeling bad?
Mm-hmm.
I got to stop worrying. I got to let that go. All those things, that never stops.
Right.
It's how do I feel guilty, manage the emotion, and still say no or still say yes? How do I feel anxious but still start the job or interview for the job? How do I manage the grief of losing a relationship and breaking up with someone or having someone break up with me?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lovely little world where we like to escape the emotions and just try to jump the ride on the positive, and that
We do. And if we can't jump the ride on the positive, we are jumping the ride on some distraction
yes,
that helps us get there.
yes,
And it is
temporarily,
Right, temporarily. It is a false train going
Right.
to the wrong destination.
right. So yeah, when I'm upset or stressed or feeling out of control, food is my resolve, but it doesn't last. It's only temporary.
Right.
And avoiding and not making that call and doing all those things are all temporary fixes, because emotional regulation, managing our emotions, has not been our strength as human beings.
Right. Avoiding our emotions has been a strength.
Yes. And so we teach people how to, it's called emotional regulation. We teach a lot more than that, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can feel that emotion in the moment and then you feel it, and then you go through
Identify
a process
it.
where you can identify it, and then hear what it's actually saying, and
something bad's going to happen, something bad's going to happen, something bad's going to happen.
right, and you can be there for yourself in those moments, and then you can heal it.
Right.
And it really is a beautiful, positive process that we train you to do for yourself, with yourself, because you're with yourself 24/7.
Absolutely.
And that is so empowering because you don't need anyone else.
Right. Right. And there's a difference between reaching out for support,
Right.
which again is super challenging, and we could have a whole show on that.
Right.
Reaching out for support in those moments, because we're in the alone zone with that self-talk going on in the head and rationalizing it and lying to ourselves, and we don't think we lie to ourselves, but we do.
Yes,
we do.
We find clever ways to cover it up.
Calories still don't count in the airport. Calories don't count on Sunday night. It's really not happening. Because
Yeah.
Monday is the day.
That's right. Well, and for me, I think one of the things that I employed many, many times in my lifetime was, well, as soon as I do this, I'll be able to do that.
Oh, yes.
As soon as Jenna goes away to school, I'll be able to get the house tidied up. As soon as this, I'll be able to do that. And guess what? As soon as never comes.
The as soon as syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
The as soon as syndrome.
Never arrive.
And so, yes, in those moments, we have these things we wanted to do forever, and we wanted to change about ourselves, and we wanted to hit these goals and write a book, and it can be big or small. And in order to get there, we have to be able to manage our emotions through those processes,
Mm-hmm.
and have corrective experiences. And in those moments, you know, when we coach, and I can say, what am I, in a split second, when somebody's asking something of me that I want to say no, or I know that I need to communicate with someone, a tough conversation. My first instinct always is that beautiful little survival technique called fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
Always, 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 always. It's just how loud or quiet it is, depending on how many times I've reasoned myself through it, right? Supported myself through it. So somebody asks something of me, and in that moment, I get that feeling. And then in a split second, what feels like 2 minutes, I can say, what's going on? I'm feeling really anxious. I'm feeling like something bad's going to happen. I don't want to say yes. I need to say no to that person, or I need to make that phone call. And I hear you, and I know it feels scary. And what's the worst case scenario? They get upset. They're going to have to manage their emotions. Blah 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 blah. And in that moment, I can redirect myself,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the most liberating ability. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, it is
Most,
an ability.
Liberating ability one can possess is to pause during those moments that for some people it's when somebody yells, for some people it's when there's conflict, for some people it's when they think about vacation, for some people it's when they think about that they're not married yet.
Yeah, any number of things. And it's interesting too, because there is fight or flight, but I have always been one who goes to the freeze. And
Freeze mode.
yes, that can be paralyzing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So learning and really practicing this method in those moments has been incredibly powerful for
Right.
me. Because specifically in the freeze mode, and I'm speaking for myself, it is a very powerless place to be.
Absolutely.
With fight or flight, you feel like there's some kind of action that you can do and take, but with freeze, it is literally frozen in terror. And so that is, has felt very
You're
powerless.
tongue-tied.
Yeah. So this has been incredibly helpful for me, and I really, when I feel it coming on, am able to do it in just seconds now.
Right.
And that is powerful.
And move through it.
For somebody who felt powerless, that is incredibly powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hear you, sister. If anyone can relate to this or has any questions or comments or compliments, as my niece would say, you can call us here on Lifelines at Z93 Today's Best Hits at 231-929-4487, 231-929-4487. And we will throw you a lifeline. And again, the first step with anything is getting it out of your mouth, out of your head, out of your mouth. And again, the one thing that we, I just got a message. We just got a message.
Okay.
JC's wonderful 2-year-old niece today got her blood work, came back 0 leukemia cells.
Amazing.
I can't read this that well. Diagnosis, transferred in the care of hospice with 93% leukemia cells in her blood the end of July. 0 today. Oh my God.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Talk about managing emotions and everyone around you in those circumstances. That's cool. Thanks for sharing, JC. That is cool. Little Miss Katie, I believe it was. I can't get back to this. Let's see. Alice Kite. There we go. 2-year-old niece. So that's great news. Better than great. Miracle. So back to our subject.
Well, and you were talking about, if I just may interject for a second, you were talking about people calling in and sharing what's going on. And I know that because of the type of program that we have, that it can feel very vulnerable to do that. So just want to put it out there that if you want to come on but you don't really want to say your name or use your full name or your real name, we're totally down with that as well.
Yep.
It's a matter of, it doesn't matter if we have your name or not, it's a matter of you just getting it out.
Yep.
And getting some relief.
Yep, absolutely. And so talking about identifying our emotions, talking about identifying our emotions, that's one thing. I was talking with my friend and I was asking her self-reflecting questions and she was getting a little squirmy and she's like, don't ask me that. Because on the surface, when you're trying, I don't really care.
Right.
Or, it's just my metabolism. Or, as soon as this, then that. And I said to her, she said, I can't believe I knew you were going to ask me that. And I don't want to answer that. And I said, you absolutely don't have to. However, I just want to let you know that it always helps to solve things if we're starting with the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's hidden.
It's most of the time hidden.
Yeah. You gotta dig for treasure there.
Because if the reason why we weren't doing things and going for things was because the reason that we say, we would have resolved it a long time ago. And it is always deeper than your surface reason.
Right.
And so when you learn, or when, what we coach, of course, is to practice over time daily, and it just becomes who you are at that point, in questioning yourself and asking what you're feeling and asking yourself what you need and asking yourself what's going on and asking yourself how you're doing and getting honest with yourself, because that is the only time that you can begin to get more honest with other people.
And it's so interesting too, because we often are looking for other people. God, I just wish they'd ask me how I'm feeling. I wish they'd invest in what's going on with me. And it's so interesting that really what we need to do is invest in ourselves, create that relationship with ourselves. Yes. And then, as you said, we can then invest in others.
Well, and on that note, if you're asking yourself, if you're needing something from other people or validation or trying to get them to see something or trying to get them to understand something or talking about them, it is a clear indicator that you're not filling your own cup enough. Mm-hmm. And so when we talk about having the relationship, creating the relationship with yourself through self-talk, which I won't get into that too deep, but you begin to identify how you feel, you know what you need, you know what you want, and just the act of doing it, which we coach you how, there's a process to it, just the act of doing it builds value with yourself.
Yes.
And I still catch myself at times saying, are you going to say good morning to me? and we're making it sound much less than it is just by giving some of these examples, because it is a process and it's an 8-hour training. Not all at once. We wouldn't be that silly. But I'll catch myself putting myself off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm supposed to have self-respect and self-value and confidence and all those things in myself. And the more we practice doing that, the less we need it from the world around us, which means the less we have to control outcomes. We have to control what other people are thinking. We have to write stories about what other people are thinking to make sure they're not thinking that, because if they think that of us, we're SOL.
Right.
And so this art of practicing paying attention to yourself and talking to yourself, there's mornings, like I said, where I'm like basically wanting to blow myself off, and I'm thinking, well, isn't that nice? Because I got to get to what, right?
Right. Something for someone else,
yes,
probably.
To get my value. I'm like, if Andrea spent the night and I walked out in the morning and she was standing in the kitchen pouring a cup of coffee, would I not ask her how she's doing, how she slept?
Right.
But gosh forbid I ask myself, right?
Right.
And so it's very interesting how our method builds your value, and you get real clear, and you don't need to ask everybody what they think and what you should do or how you're going to do it, and it's just super liberating.
It is incredibly liberating.
Super duper. So we need to go to a commercial break.
Yes.
And we will be right back here on Lifelines on Z93, today's best hits.
Down, so they shouldn't be able to hear anything.
What's that?
I got it down, so they shouldn't be able to hear.
No.
Okay.
No. Hi, everyone. We're still streaming. I think Ron's going to come in and say hello. We are still streaming, and I got a shiny forehead for everyone tonight. We are still streaming. Just for those who are watching, I just want to let you know. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you. And secondly, if we get a caller tonight, you will not be able to hear it on Facebook, because we don't have it hooked up and we have the equipment to do it, but it's a lot of training and we're getting ready for an event, and I don't know when or if, but just want to let you know if someone does call tonight. So we are getting ready. We have 2 minutes commercial break?
About 2 minutes, and if we do get a call, they can flip over to the website and listen live.
Yes.
If they like to.
Yes, if you want to be really fancy. Yes, you can listen live on, go to Z93hits.com, and then it'll pull up and you can hit the listen live button for Z93, and then you can flip back or whatever. So anyway, thank you for joining us tonight, and you're behind the scenes. This is behind the scenes. This is like when we sit here and certainly not pick our nose on camera.
None of that going on.
You want to come say hi over here?
Sure.
Come on over.
I have 1 minute.
We have on our Lifelines t-shirts.
I think I have a minute.
Lifelines. Oh, let me see if I can lower this. Get ready, people.
That's right.
We're going down.
Right.
I know. I just want to, though.
Hi.
There she is. See, I get to see all the people while Andrea runs the boards.
It always pulls that up.
What? You just walk over and it does that?
I know.
Oh.
Isn't that funny?
Oh. How
Anyway,
do I make this lower?
Glad you're watching. Good to see ya. I'm over there running the boards and pretending I know what I'm doing.
She does know what she's doing. She used the clap button tonight.
I did. I'm having so much fun.
It was awesome.
The clapper.
So we are going to talk next about, well, we have a couple announcements to make.
Yes.
And then, I brought this.
Oh.
And then we are going to our topic of the moment of the evening.
All right, we're going to disclaimer.
Okay. Our topic tonight, oh, crisis. Crisis. Right? All right. 1 second.
You got
just
30
stepping
seconds.
over here for a second. We got 30 seconds, people. Take your places. Oh, look at you.
Z93, this is Lifelines. Hi. May I please do you a favor? I'm just going to set you down for a second after you get this back on the air. I'll be right back. All right, I'm just turning you on. Hi, thanks so much for holding. Hi, what is your name? Ruby, do you want to be on the air today?
Hey everyone, welcome back to our 59th broadcast of Lifelines here on Z93, today's best hits. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have some announcements to make, and we are on the topic of self-talk and self-worth and what holds us back and emotions and managing them and facing them and liberating ourselves. And we're about to get into a topic which is crisis and change and what it takes to make change. And there's lots of advice out there. There's lots of positive inspiration about change, but why doesn't it seem to happen as often as we would like it to? Or we have this huge desire for change, whether it's losing weight, whether it's getting married, whether it's starting a new career, whether it's writing a book, whether it's getting out more, exercising, and what the heck is holding us back? Why does that happen? So we're going to talk about that, and I believe we have someone on the line, so Andrea is talking to them. So what I'm going to start doing right now is announcing our event. I am privileged to be the keynote speaker for an event called Light Consciousness Event on September 21st and 22nd in downtown Traverse City at the Park Place Hotel. And I'm going to come back and get to that as I believe Andrea's coming back in.
Yes, we do have a caller.
Okay.
We have Ruby on the line, and she wanted to talk to you. So give me just a second.
You got it.
Patch her in. Hi, Ruby, are you there? Excellent. Okay, Annie's on the line for you.
Hi, Ruby. Thanks for calling in tonight. You're welcome. What is going on? Oh my gosh, honey. I'm sorry. I am sorry. So you're in foster care now? Okay. Okay. So you have guardians, and who are your guardians?
No names.
Oh, no. I'm saying, are they biological or not biological? Okay. Okay. And so you're having, okay. So tell me what's going on. What's happening? Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. What do you think you need, honey? If you knew, or you could guess what you thought you needed, what would it be? Support? Are you able to ask for support? You don't know? I'm going to take it that's feeling vulnerable to ask for support, maybe? Do you have with your guardians, and you said you were in foster care, do you have with Child and Family Services, and I know you're a little bit older, I mean, do you have access to a counselor? Okay, and tell me about that. By your choice? Okay. Okay. So, like, do you only see this person, your counselor, like once a month or every 2 weeks? Okay. It doesn't help? I. How often do you feel like you're a waste of oxygen, honey? Do they tell you you're a waste of oxygen? What do they say, babe? They threaten to what? Get a psych eval? Are you able, just for me to possibly help just a little bit more, to tell me what kinds of things you do that would make them threaten to get a psych eval? Uh-huh. Okay. So it's things that are happening in life, but you're not self-harming or you what? You haven't. Okay. Okay. So you have some vulnerabilities to self-harm. Kind of. Okay. Yeah. Do you think you're what do you think about yourself, honey? Is there part of you that knows you're worthy of love and worthy of and deserving of good things? What do you feel about yourself, babe? Whatever it is. Very little love. Right. Yeah. Oh, honey. That is tough. Yeah, that is super tough. That is super tough. I'm gonna tell you what. Unfortunately, and it's part of life, and I know you're 16 years old, and part of life is that unfortunately people can't hug us enough or just tell us how valuable we are or tell us that we're worthy of love, and sometimes we get mixed messages, right? Because we're told we're worthy of love, but then we're yelled at. Does that make sense? Yeah, you can call me Annie, honey. I appreciate that, but you don't have to call me ma'am unless you want to. It's your choice. But a lot of times we get mixed messages, and the only one that can really, at the end of the day, give you your value is you, because I can tell you you're pretty, I can tell you you're worthy, people can tell that to me, but you know how that goes, right? You have to really believe it to even be able to receive it. And so this is going to be your personal quest with yourself, and that doesn't mean without support. But what I'd like to do is I'm going to, if you choose, I'm going to put you back to Andrea, and she can take your email or your number, and we can connect with you, and it can, or you can keep ours and connect if and when you feel the need. But what we can help do, and maybe we can talk to your guardians, or you can, what we can help you do is build yourself up. Because you're 16, sweetheart. And some days, I mean, you with your friends, and of course that's just huge. I mean, that's a big support system for you, and that's a lot of change, especially with what you're going through. So, do you want to feel better about yourself in life? Ever? You do? Do you think that somewhere down there you have an inkling that you're not so bad? Right? Right. I know the feeling. I've been there. I won't tell you my story, but I know the feeling. I was not very kind to myself. And it took me a lot of years. I'm 51. So we can help others based on what we've learned and what we do, and you can start giving yourself different messages no matter what anybody says. Right? You got a couple years till you're able to be on your own. And there's got to be a part of you that wants to fight for yourself, girl, or you wouldn't have called. That I know for sure. So I'm really happy that you did that on behalf of yourself. It's hard, right? Right. So, with your permission, I'm going to give you to Andrea, and we'd be more than willing to do whatever we can do to help, as long as you got to meet us halfway, though. And you know, we can go into details or go into ways that we can help support you, and you can think about it. You can contact us later. We don't have to. We can just baby step in thought. How does that sound? What do you think about that, Ruby? Did I lose you? Okay. Were you just having a hard time answering me? Okay. Well, I'm gonna do this. Is there anything right now? I mean, I'm offering you to do some baby steps to help build yourself up, and I am not into pressure or force or telling anybody what to do. It's not my style. It's not the way I roll, nor does Andrea. So we're here every Thursday night, and you have the number to call in, right? So if you'd like, if you stay on the line, Andrea will come back on the line, and we can just give you our email, and wait for you to reach out if you choose, or she can exchange whatever you want to do. I'll let you decide with Andrea. Okay? Is there anything else that you can think of? We're here to support you, for sure. And it may not be easy for you to be able to believe it, and I wouldn't expect you to, but I have a different story than you, but I know where you're at. And I get it. You're not alone. And there's many people. You are not alone. So, is there anything else that you want to ask, or that I might be able to do before I put you over to Andrea? You can think about it for a second. Not really? Okay, I understand. That's okay. So I'm gonna, with that, you have our number here at the station on Thursdays, and I'm gonna put you over to Andrea, and then you two can decide if you just want to take our email or call us back sometime or whatever you choose, but we are here to help. Okay? All right, honey. I hope that we connect. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank yourself. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. I'm happy you called. All right, honey, stay on the line and I'll have Andrea come, she'll be picking up in just a second, okay? All right, Ruby. I love your name, by the way. Okay, bye-bye, honey. So that was Ruby. Hello, Ron.
Hi.
What's up?
I'm still here.
I bet people know that voice.
I hope so.
Is your mic on?
No, that's okay.
Turn it on.
Turn it on.
Now I can
Thank you,
hear you.
Andrea.
Hi, Ron Pritchard.
How are you?
I'm really good, actually.
That was a beautiful thing you did with Ruby.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Beautiful thing for Ruby to call, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Ugh.
Well, here's hoping she gets what she needs. That's what you're here for.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
So why am I here?
Because I asked you to come in because you were here tonight.
I know. Why am I here though? I mean, I'm not supposed to be here.
We're doing the Ron and Andrea and Annie night talk.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm the B team.
So there we go. Wow, you're the A team, dude. That's for sure. So I'm sure there's many of you out there that recognize the voice of Ron Pritchard, right?
Ron and Raymer in the morning.
There we go. And Ron has been and continues to be a mentor and our support person, and he is it director of operations?
Program director.
Program director. I knew that sounded...
that's a director of operations thing is way above my pay grade.
Well, or your interest maybe.
Well, yeah, because it takes you out of the music area.
Yes.
And it puts you into the dealing with people in politics area.
Yes.
You know, and I don't mind dealing with the people with the politics of management and things like that.
Right. Right. Right.
Keep that.
Right. Well, Ron has over a year now supported Andrea and I greatly, and there isn't a minute. I've talked about a lifeline.
Yeah.
Ron's been our lifeline.
Yeah, I mean, I gave you my text number and said text me anytime, and you have.
And I have.
and that's fine. You know,
Thank you.
We just the goal was to make this run smoothly and well, and it was a little bumpy at first, but
Yeah.
I think that everything has just kind of gotten into a groove now.
Oh,
Hopefully,
my gosh.
as soon as I say that, though, your camera will fall over.
Right. But I don't have music on there,
Good.
so we're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to get us flagged.
Those darn copyright people.
Oh my gosh. I was all freaked out last week because we streamed live. We're promoting the Light Consciousness event, and
There was
somebody
brought the
door.
bass. Somebody brought the bass. There was a little bit of bass line, but it was not even really identifiable. And yeah, I mean,
Well-
if Led Zeppelin can get away with ripping people off, we
Right.
can get away with people ripping people off.
I'm telling you, like that, since the minute that the music went on, the station got flagged, and it freaked me out.
Yeah.
Talk about...
That was within the first 4 to 6 weeks of
Yes.
the show. Yeah.
Yes. And even last night, I'm editing I'm getting some video together for Holly to put on our website, and of past events we did. So we did this event called Self Love Beauty Conference, and it was at one of the schools, and I did the catwalk thing with Courage with the girls, and there was music in the background. Alicia Keys, Girl on Fire.
Oh, sure.
There was lots of it, but
Sure.
I was just trying to pass it on YouTube to Holly, knowing that we couldn't use the music, but I was just trying to pass it along to her.
YouTube
So
wasn't letting you do it?
Oh, they just flagged me
Yeah.
like immediately.
Yep.
They're really nice. They're like, you're not in trouble, but you got to take it down.
Yeah,
you know?
and if you do it again, then you'll be in trouble.
Yes. Yes. And so I'm like, that was innocent. I was just trying to pass it over.
Right.
So anywho.
They're
but-
really serious about that stuff these days.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? What are you going to do?
I think it's because YouTube owns their own music channel now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they own Vivo, which is where all the videos are.
Right.
And so as long as they're getting paid, they don't want to put stuff up there for free.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, anyways, it was nice to see you tonight.
Nice to see you as well. Thank you for all the candy and nice things. I've been putting your nice notes and your candy and all that stuff on the Instagram page.
I know. I saw one.
Yeah.
That's so hilarious.
It just every when I walk in here Friday morning, Friday morning is like, oh boy, Friday.
Right.
And then I see that and I go, oh hey, Friday, cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. All of a sudden, I'm like, I love doing that. We gotta leave Ron little treats.
And I love that you leave me little treats.
Well, then it's a mutual love.
Yes.
There we go.
Andrea, I see you're dressed for the part tonight. You've got your Z93 shirt on. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
You like?
Oh,
Yeah.
you've got yours
Watch
on
out!
too.
Watch out for your Christmas present, Ron.
Oh, hey.
Could be one of them in your stocking. Our
Sweet.
Lifelines T-shirts
Okay.
with Z93.
That's right.
Just give it an extra a couple of Z's here, and it'll fit me just
I
fine.
got you covered. I got you covered.
So yeah, I'm just here hanging out. Normally Friday is my long day because we have to program for the weekend. I'm trying to cut that down to about half the day by staying here late on Thursday.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So I can
Okay.
split the difference between the Thursday and the
Do you
Friday.
think you'll split the difference?
I'm gonna try.
Practice.
It is a practice. It's
Yes.
It's not an art form.
Yes.
Not for me, anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. I know. It's like, I'll just do that and then leave early. I call Ronnie's here at 7 on Friday. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, dude, what's
Yeah.
going on?
I should let you all get back to your show, which is
Okay.
serving a good purpose.
Thank you.
And I'm just in here wasting your time. So
You're not wasting our time. I don't think anyone's, but your voice is just, I just listen to your voice. I'm like, I want my voice to sound like the girl version of that. Maybe,
That's true.
maybe someday.
You never know.
No, see that. Then I try to be all snazzy, and that doesn't work. That's like a
hey, now it's Andy Clark.
hey,
Lifelines.
and Lifelines. Join us here on Z93.
There were two things, and I'll leave you with this. There were two
Okay.
things that made me want to get into radio real quick. One was WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how old I am.
Well, me
As
too.
are we.
Yeah, and the other one was Mr. Microphone.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Hey, little lady, I'll be back to pick you up later. When they had the microphone in the car, and
Yes.
you can't get away with that commercial these days.
Oh yeah, right. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
and
it.
I told you another story a long time ago that I won't share on the air about my love for music and radio
Yes.
when I was but a lad.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's
Yes.
you can take the radio out of the man, but you can't take the man out of the radio. Is that how they say it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. It was either that or suck at everything, like my dad told me I was going to do.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's lovely.
yeah.
How long did you believe him for?
Well, he said you suck at everything, so you may as well just try radio, because I was going to do that anyway. I was not an athlete. He was an athlete.
Right.
I was not into construction or manly things.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Right.
My brother filled that role.
Yep.
So I was the music guy.
Yeah.
Can I ask your name?
So
Well, we'll thank him for that now, I suppose, or not. But
yeah, I mean, I thank him every day. So I used to give him like little bits of trivia and things like that. He'd say, "Well, that's useless information, son. You're never going to put that to use. So why don't you go out and study real things?" And here I am, 31 years
so
later.
cool.
And
That's-
he's now proud of me.
that's awesome.
So
Okay. Yeah.
took
I know. I just got
30 years, but he's now proud of me.
If you will hold on for
Well,
just
I'm
a
assuming that
moment,
you were living it despite that.
Here for a minute.
No, I was
Sooner
I was just doing what I wanted to do.
That's what I
I just
mean.
did what made me happy.
That's the goal.
Never made me rich. It never. This beats work. This
Yeah.
is fun.
Yeah.
This beats. There's nothing wrong with breaking rocks and hauling logs. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And God bless the people that do. And this beats that. So I'm gonna let you get back to it and
Alrighty.
helping people and doing the actual thing you do.
Thank you.
And have a great rest of your show for the next 10 minutes or something.
Yes.
And we'll talk to you next time.
And I'll always remember Ron's first. I asked him for a piece of advice or some guidance when I started the show, and you were there, Andrea. And he shared, and the one thing he shared that was passed on to him is you got to stand for something.
Yep. The
And-
other piece of advice I gave you was set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it.
Quotes you often on that one.
Thank you, Ron.
All right, you guys have a
See
great
ya.
show.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks.
And we do have somebody on the line.
Okay.
We have Austin on the line.
Austin?
Yeah.
Okay.
In just one moment.
Alrighty.
Hi, Austin. Are you there? Wonderful.
Hi, Austin. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, what's going on? Oh, okay. foster care since you were 3? Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. Right. And can you clarify what you mean by duty of care with your biological parents? Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. And so, ask me your question again. Okay. Okay, well let me start by this. If you didn't have to feel any kind of icky emotion, if you had it 100% your way, which you do, first of all, would you have a relationship with your biological parents? If they didn't change anything about themselves. Okay. Um do you have any thoughts in your mind or hope in your mind if you just something that they might get better? I'm just calling it get better. Mm-hmm. Right. 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 And so the bottom line is what do you want for yourself, and of course acting on it and setting those boundaries. But if your parents didn't change anything about their lifestyle, their perspectives, or any of the above, would you want to have and engage in a relationship with them? Probably or not. Okay. Right. There we go. I know. The we call that on the fence. I kinda think yes, not. Okay. So, the chances of them changing or you putting energy into trying to get them to be, we'll just call it different or more suitable for a healthy relationship, are not high. Do you recognize that, Austin? Okay. And that doesn't feel good, I would assume, right? On one hand, it can be a relief on one hand, knowing it, but on the other hand, it doesn't feel good because that may mean you may not have a relationship with them. But the cost to you is going to be exhaustion and getting nowhere, and then feeling the need to control outcomes. And that, my friend, can cause addiction. Right? Yep. right? Okay. How far away do you live from your grandmother? Sure. Just can't swear. Okay. 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 And how long have you had a relationship with your grandmother? Okay. 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 So grandma is she is means something to you. Okay. I mean, that sounds a little understated, but you love your grandma, right? And you want to have a relationship with her. So what you need to decide, and obviously you're not going to, be seeing her every weekend, right? Regardless of a relationship with your biological parents, right? So you can do a couple of things. I mean, one, and these are easier said than done. Setting boundaries requires managing your emotions, being honest and truthful, and managing your emotions around people's reactions to your choice, right? That can be tough, but you can do it. It's just not fun at first. But so do you feel the need, are your parents trying to call you? I mean, how much do you need to, probably for yourself, I mean, being honest with your parents. And being honest could look like this. Mom, dad, biological parents, I have chosen to love you from a distance. Your lifestyle is different than mine. It's not comfortable for me. I don't want to judge you, and it hurts like heck. However, I'm choosing for my own self in order for me to hold any kind of love for you, I'm going to have to do it from a distance. If your lifestyle changes, and I'm not going to judge you either way, then if you choose, we can re-engage. But other than that, our relationship's going to be very unhealthy because I'm going to try to get you to be somebody other than who you are, and that's not fair. Right? And they're going to say whatever they're going to say, and you're going to rinse and repeat. That's my decision. It's tough. You're only going to repeat yourself so many times. And then this probably isn't something you're just going to hang up and do. But there is no, how am I going to do this without feeling this way? And so you can compromise yourself for, in the perfect world, you can't do that for anybody because nobody wins. And I'm assuming you want healthy relationships, right? And so if you have an unhealthy relationship with your biological parents, guess what you're going to have with other people in your future partners? The same thing. Yeah, and it's just repeating the patterns, and that's the tough thing. Like at your age and your parents in reverse for you, whether you were in foster care, no matter what it was, and vice versa, your parents are adults, and you're an adult, and biological, not biological, you are not responsible for compromising yourself so somebody else is happy or comfortable at your own expense. Acting on it is a different thing, right? Okay. And so, what do you do? We only have, 1 minute left for the show?
Yes. Unfortunately.
We can when if you so choose, you want to, we have only 60 seconds left on the show. If you want, you can exchange emails with Andrea. We can contact you, and we're willing to give you a little more feedback and also tell you about, we do an 8-hour coaching training program that helps with this kind of stuff, so we can talk to you about that too. But we'd be more than willing to give you a little more time. We're just out of time on the air, and we have to wrap up the show. And I'm hoping Ruby heard you tonight. Thank you. Yeah. So Austin, I look forward to continuing our conversation, and anything that we can do to help. That's what we're here for. If somebody steps up, we step up too, right? Awesome. So, okay, stay on the line. I'm going to wrap up the show, and Andrea will exchange information with you. Okay, Austin, thanks.
All right, Austin, just give me a moment so we can end the show, and I'll be right with you.
Oh, that's right. You have to shut down the show. Okay, Austin, stay on the line. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, everyone, for listening tonight. We didn't get to talk about our event. We'll talk about that next week. You can check out on Facebook, Annie Clark page, Light Consciousness event. And we got to wrap it up right now. So thank you, everyone. I'm Annie Clark, and I'm here for you because it's all about you. And we will be here back next week on Z93, Today's Best Hits. Thanks.